Hello, and welcome to the Lund University International Podcast. On the show, you'll hear from current students, alumni, researchers, professors, and many more special guests as we explore what it's really like to live, study, and work at Lund University, a world top 100 university. My name is Fabio, and I come from Napoli, Italy. I've been studying here in Lund for 4 years, done my bachelor's, and I'm currently a master's student in European Affairs. Welcome to a special episode of the Lund University International Podcast, celebrating 10 years of the International Citizen Hub at Lund. For a decade, the hub has been at the heart of Lund's international community, helping newcomers settle in, connect, and truly feel at home. From navigating life in Sweden to creating friendships and career opportunities, it's become an essential part of the international experience. In this episode, we're joined by the founder of the hub, a student intern, and a master's student who've each seen its impact from different perspectives. Together, we'll reflect on how it all started, share some inspiring success stories, and look ahead to the next 10 years of international life in Lund. Let's celebrate a decade of community, growth, and belonging right here at the International Citizens Hub. Welcome to everyone, and let's get started with Lisa, who's the founder, here today with us.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me here and to talk about one of my favorite subjects, International Citizen Hub Lund. True, we are celebrating our 10th year anniversary. I'm so proud of, it's not really my work. I found it. I started off the hub, but I'm so proud of the team behind that actually made the hub what it is today. So I'm an actual international talent developer for the hub, work with different activities and vision for the hub. But the most important job I have is welcoming internationals from spouses and partners that have come with recruited talent here to master students that want to study and thrive and live here. So I have one of the best jobs in the world. 10 years running, and I have maybe 10 years ahead.
And it's truly because we hope we have more than 10 years, but the International Citizens Hub has become a really central part in the international life of the university. As you said, both students and non-students. Today, we also have as guests 2 international students who are part of the International Citizens Hub. So welcome. Can you tell us a bit about yourselves and your experience here in Lund?
Hi, I'm Kevin. I'm from Australia and I came to Sweden earlier this summer. So Australian winter, Swedish summer. I got double summers this year. Really, really amazing. So I work at the International Citizen Hub Lund, supporting the marketing and the events as the Jobsprong intern.
And hi, my name is Luz Adriana. I am from Mexico and I came to Sweden a little bit over a year ago to study a master in environmental management and policy. And then I enjoy being in Sweden so much, so I decided to give it a try to find a job here. And then is how I connected with the International Citizen Hub.
And so so you both share your experience that you're coming here to Sweden and you're thinking about staying. What brought you also to stay? Well, that's a question that many students ask because they come here and they think also afterwards, it's not only about the studies, there is something afterwards for everyone, right?
So this is actually connected to Lund University. This was 9 years back. I was on exchange and I met my current Swedish partner there. So we went back to Australia. We tried it out for almost 9 years, but she missed her family so much that we decided to give Sweden a shot.
Wow, that's a very inspiring story.
Yeah, for me it was that I was searching for graduate programs, and I knew before that Lund is a very good university. So during a trip to Denmark, I came to visit Lund for a few hours and I was like, I really like this city. It looks very cozy, it looks super nice. And then I was lucky enough to found a scholarship to come here. And then after staying here over a year, I have met really nice people. I like the quality life here. Not so much the darkness, I have to admit, but it has been really nice. And I think that it's hard. It's a tough market everywhere right now. But I decided why not? Sweden looks like a really nice country to grow and learn. So that's why I am still here.
I agree. We're glad that Sweden made an impression on you all, and also on me. By the way, I am an international student. I do come from Europe, but from Italy. But still, I've been living here a while, and I am thinking of staying as well, even after the completion of my studies. But let's get back to the International Citizens Hub. Can you tell us just a bit more of what is the International Citizens Hub?
Yes, it is that we started this because we recruit international talent from all over the world. And when you come to a new country, it's to how do I navigate? You know, it's a new language, a new culture. The regulations are different. I mean, for example, if you want to get your hair cut, you want to be able to communicate to someone that, don't chop everything off, especially if you're a woman with long hair. You could come off with a, crew cut. So instead, we have informational events. How do things work here? And we do everything in English. All the informational events are in English, and they're run by experts that come and in their fields or their areas. We have authorities that come because we are an authority. The city of Lund is able to draw upon, the social insurance, even the tax office comes. People get afraid of tax, but in Sweden, yes, we pay a lot of tax. We get a lot for our tax money, but they're interested that you pay the right tax too when you're here and work. So there are a lot of things like that we do. And then also a drop-in, come in, you're new to the country. We get people coming in, just arrived. A few days later, they join us for a cup of coffee, some really nice cookies, and just say, hey, where do I get started? My partner's working, or, I've just started studying, but I'm alone, even though Lund University is a very welcoming place. They want to see what's happening outside of the university.
Definitely sounds like a welcoming place and a place for everyone to really get involved into Swedish life. But you said before, Lisa, it's been 10 years. Can you walk us through these 10 years? How have they been?
Yeah, the 10 years, it's been, we started with a core idea and we still keep that, but the development has escalated quite big. We're in Lund and we targeted Lund especially. But we started with our drop-in, as I said, coffee, cookies. We have our informative events. But what we did notice after almost 1 year, people wanted to get into the job market. We're talking about highly educated people. We're talking about people that have made that commitment to study and looking to Lund, just as you had mentioned, Adriana. Wow, this is really a charming place and it's a good university. And hey, I want to give it a shot here and I want to, show what I can do, make an impact. And but it is difficult to get in the job market. So we also started we call it a Kickstart program, a career program. And that program is able to give the tools to navigate the Swedish job market. And though we are in southern Sweden near Denmark, as you had mentioned, you landed in Denmark, said, I'll just take a train over and see what's on the other side. And you can also see that there's also opportunities on the other side as well. We don't in Sweden want to necessarily send you over to Denmark, but it's a neighboring country and we share and we collaborate. And why not? It's better you stay in the area and thrive because we know they come back to Sweden as well. So we've worked on these kinds of spouse programs, and we also are we're developing partners. So we're not just little Lund. Soon we got a reputation where all of the southern Sweden was like, hey, we want to come. Well, we welcome you too to Lund. Why not? So we started that way. And then we also, as a model, because we work with, it's called retention, keeping international talent in the area. So we have been contacted by the rest of Sweden. We're talking about Skövde. For those of you that are outside of Sweden, Skövde is kind of a strange name, but it's further up in Sweden. Sweden is a long country. It's about the size of California and the length almost. So further up, we have Skövde. We have Uppsala, also with a university there. But we've been contacted and said, how do you work? How do you keep those master students? How do you keep the international community together so that they want to stay and thrive and so that they also feel welcome? So we've been a model for them. And then we've also been a model throughout the years for internationals for other European countries. So West Flanders, other places, Estonia. So we've been a model for them where they come and visit us and they ask, how do you work it? So all that has evolved from just looking at Lund and just welcoming you to one little house. And suddenly we're also very international. So that has been a journey, but it's been a natural journey because we all are interested in international talent. We all want you to come to our respective places and we want you to thrive. But most importantly, we like Lund and we want you to come to Lund.
And you definitely can see that Lund, you've had such an impact on Lund as well, because I've heard just the other day how Lund is one of the fastest growing cities in the whole of Sweden. It's actually the fastest growing city in the whole of Sweden. I think you've made an impact too by attracting new people, by making this city more accessible for everyone. Let's go back to our students today here. And I wanted to ask, now that you're navigating also the career opportunities, that's a question that many students have. Once you come to Sweden, you come to studies, but afterwards finding a career here for people who want to stay. How is that? How have you been navigating it? It's a troubled time, but there are some opportunities out there. And how about also the Swedish language?
So I think some of the support that we provide at ICHL has been really, really helpful for me, even though I'm working and supporting the events. So we have a program called the Kickstart program, which Adriana is also a part of, 6 weeks full of information about all sorts of things, from how to tailor your CV to the Swedish market, your cover letters, interview styles, but even about the Swedish workplace culture and how to navigate the job market here, or even across the bridge in Copenhagen. And that's been incredibly, incredibly helpful. What do you think, Adriana?
Yeah, well, I have to say that I think that in general, in any country that you study, when you graduate, it's like, okay, what's next? And you're kind of alone in that process. And then moving to a different country, it's even harder. And I have been lucky enough that through my studies, I have lived in 4 different countries. And this is something very unique that I found in Sweden. I have never seen this in any other place, that you have all this support, because I found out about this International Citizen Hub through volunteering, because I was like, okay, I finished my studies. It's summer. I need to do something. I want to stay. But I was still like, okay, I don't want to start just finishing my master thesis and then starting applying to jobs. So I say, I need to do something. So I found volunteering in the hub as an opportunity. And I was like, yeah, that's nice. I can meet more people. And then through that volunteering, I learned about the Kickstart program. And I think that it was a very insightful program to understand things that as an international, maybe I would have never asked, because I have no idea of that, or you don't know where to look for that information. So I think that it's still hard, and it's our job to apply and to knock all the doors possible, but at least we are not alone in that process. So it has been really nice to meet other internationals in the same situation as I am, because it can feel very lonely, but now it's not that lonely anymore.
Yeah, there's a strong support from the International Citizen Hub, but also in general from all the other organizations here in Lund. Like the university itself supports quite a lot in its students in general. But do you work with the university as well?
Oh, yes. We work very closely with the university. We have from the very beginning, actually. So we have collaborative activities when you are recruiting PhDs, postdocs. We're actually part of, after the recruitment, the induction period, where they come and they go through all the process, and we get a little bit of time with them. We support them, especially those that come as single. We have some late afternoon events so they can attend. But most importantly, many of them come with partners, spouses and partners. And it's those spouses and partners are very critical because they're in their element. They're working at Lund University, having a wonderful time, research, working with people, developing. But they're partners here. And what happens with a partner during the day? So and they're highly educated, and they also want to get into the workforce and make an impact as well in various areas. So we work closely with them. So it's important that when you are also recruiting, that the other half understands we're here for them as well. And it is many of the things that happen, as Adriana brought up, all these things that are here offering. And what's surprising for many people outside of Sweden, all this is free in Sweden. You don't find this in any other countries. I originally come from the U.S. I think everybody knows, nothing's for free in the U.S. So this is a wonderful country to come to, Sweden. And then when you're coming to a university town, as Lund is, the charm, but the closeness of walking and collaborating, even the university collaborates with the companies that exist here. The hub collaborates with both companies and the university. So this is like a small community, but actually globally it's quite big because we are very well known outside. So the opportunities for free are amazing here. I do want to say, though, what is also we're very proud of is that the university has seen the value in what we do, and they actually fund the International Citizen Hub today. So in 2025, they said we have a commitment. And Fabio, when you brought up about the next 10 years, they want to see us thrive in the next 10 years as well. So we're here to welcome more students, more spouses and partners, that are coming here as well. And also to those internationals that want to thrive. And Kevin, you did bring up about jobbsprånget. I know it's a strange Swedish word, but do you want to tell us a little bit about that program? Because that's also good for non-EU, non-European born, actually. If you're staying here, like Adriana also wants to get into the job market, she might be able to apply for things like that and support. Maybe you can tell us that.
So Jobbsprånget is an internship program for international spouses such as myself in Sweden. And it is a great opportunity for you to get local experience in the Swedish job market. And this has been incredibly important for understanding how workplace culture works in Sweden. So I'm very grateful to ICHL because not only do I get to experience firsthand what it's like to work in Sweden, but I also get access to the events that I support, and I get to listen to all the guest speakers who give such valuable information. So I get to learn the theory at the events, and then I get to see in reality, like exactly. So it's been absolutely amazing. I would recommend Jobbsprånget to anybody who's eligible.
You're picking up the language too, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Yeah, because you also asked us about how we are doing with the Swedish language, and I think that we didn't mention that. But as Lisa said, that is also for free. So in Sweden, you can go to SFE, which is like Swedish for immigrants, and it's free. You need to wait a few months to get in, but there are many opportunities to integrate and to feel part of the community here in Lund, also with the språkcafés, like language cafes. So there are many, many ways in which students who want to come to Sweden can really embrace Sweden as much as possible.
Yeah, definitely. I think personally also, it's important to have Swedish in the job market. That's really important if you want to stay here. But in general, even as a student, your first days, I think Sweden is still very welcoming, and still people speak English fluently wherever you go. In my experience, even out in the countryside where you wouldn't expect, they all speak a bit of English, so you'll be able to get through. But of course, I think that's part of living in a new country is also learning the language for long term. And I think there's opportunities there from the municipality, from International Citizen Hub, and the university to all get involved. But actually, I wanted to ask some more about your 10 years here. Do you have any personal stories that you want to share, success stories of some people who have come to Lund and worked with you throughout the years?
I do have quite a few, but there's one that sticks out for me. As we had a spouse, actually. Her husband was recruited to a company here, and she from India, and she was very unsure about this. She was working in human resource for global companies, not just for India, but around the world. And for her to leave her job and support her spouse to be here in that time, she joined us. She went through our job program. And then she went to the internship as Jobbsprånget as well. And she worked with us. And it was interesting, the culture, because keeping that culture coming from India, for example, it's a hierarchical culture where, am I doing okay? Is it okay if I do this? And Sweden works differently. So it was a matter of her learning how to work in a Swedish context. And she learned that. I said, you need to learn this. And we went through these things. She learned that through her time with us as an intern. She got a job in in a company here. And she said, it's amazing that I can retain my culture because it has a value into a Swedish organization. At the same time, I'm also learning another side of me of how to adapt and also work in another cultural context. And she says, how much I have learned and how much impact I have on industry as well, how I see things. And she was a little surprised by that. And she's been thriving. And now she's actually in this job, and her role is actually recruiting internationals. And she's opened the eyes to this company that internationals have a value. And they say, this is what we want to hear. This is what we have you here for. So it's very interesting to come to another country where you can also be valued for your culture, languages, but a different mindset. And Sweden is very Swedish, of course, but we're seeing a trend where it's opening up more and more, that the value of an international perspective, they go hand in hand if you want to make it, when we're working with innovation, if you want to make an impact globally. And that's part of growing and within a city and a country.
And Lund and southern Sweden is definitely an open and international, multicultural society in general. But how have you experienced this new culture in a way? It's still open, but there are some differences from the places we've all come from, right, Kevin?
So I came here at the start of summer, so it was the perfect time to come. Everybody is full of energy and everybody is excited to do things. So I was actually quite surprised because I thought Swedes would be a little bit colder, but everybody wanted to go out with me. They wanted to play tennis, and I was turning down opportunities just because I couldn't fit them in my calendar. So I would recommend coming in summer.
But be aware of the winter as well. You mentioned that, Adriana.
Yeah,
right?
like the darkness is hard, but to be honest, I was expecting Swedish people to be different because before coming here, I heard many stories like, oh, Adriana, like Swedish people, if they see a neighbor, they will walk away, just to not say hi. And I was like, oh, okay, that is very different to Mexico. Like in Mexico, we are much more open and friendly. But I have seen that at least here in Lund, and maybe I am a bit biased, I don't know. But here people are very open, and they really are curious about learning from other cultures and other perspectives. And I think that this is a great starting point because we as internationals really want to learn about Sweden. But I am also doing an internship at another organization here in Lund. And recently we had an event for Dia de Muertos. And I saw a lot of Swedish people there. Like really happy, really asking questions.
Yeah,
so
I was there. It was really fun experience.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's nice. So I think this is something that also Lund as a city offers, like a lot of cultural exchange, but mostly like this openness for everyone to, okay, you're from a different country that I don't know anything about it, but tell me. So I think that that is also something really nice of being here and being around and meeting so many internationals.
Yeah, and I think also one recurring theme, it's also like being with others, like feeling alone in the beginning, but I hear a lot of community, right? So I think this is what the International Citizens Hub is trying to also build, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a community. It's a community to start with internationally. I mean, the goal is to integrate, of course, but it just does take some time. And it is you have to keep in mind, though, Sweden is a cold country in the winter. I mean, I originally come from California, so I'm used to Mexico. It's not far off there. So we're used to a warmer climate. We're used to being outdoors. It also means that the kind of activities you engage in. But so here in Sweden, there is a time, as you came, Kevin, perfect timing in summer. There was a good recommendation, but be aware for the winter. But then you can see the coziness and other aspects of Sweden. And it means also that in the beginning, you need a community, and I think an international community, because you all understand each other. It is quite a difference to... it is a challenge. You leave your home country, you leave your friends, as your wife had left earlier, your partner. And it is a challenge to leave your family and everything behind. But then you start to meet an international community and they become your family. I have very little family here in Europe, actually, but I have many international friends that have become family, and I have very many Swedish friends that also become family. So you get the best of both worlds, and I think that's what International Citizen Hub Lund has offered over the 10 years. An international community so you feel safe, welcomed, and then it helps you to spread your wings and get integrated into society and find your place.
Yeah, and another thing that I've been thinking also is how, yes, it gets cold in the winter, but there is still so much to do. And I think that's one big thing of Lund, especially Lund, Malmö, southern Sweden, is there is so much, it's a vibrant community. There's a lot to do. There's a lot of opportunities, experiences, ways to improve your knowledge, meet other people. So there's always something to do. It's never actually boring in a way, Olivia, right? Or how it's because there's also the difference as a student and as someone who's not a student, who's actually working. I've also felt a bit of that difference. How are you feeling it right now?
Yeah, so especially as a student, because I was an exchange student 9 years ago, there were so many things to do in Lund with all the different nations, student-only events, but then you also have events organized by associations outside the student body, like the one that Adriana organized. So it was full of events the whole time I was there.
Yeah, I think that Lund as a student is an amazing city because there are many events, many discounts to go to concerts, to go to different events. So believe me, now that I am no longer a student, I feel the difference with not having the discount. But there are also a lot of free activities, mostly like during summer, but still there are many things out there. And a tip that I have is use Facebook. I have seen a lot of events through Facebook that maybe in Mexico, it was not that much to find out these kind of events there. But here I have seen that it's super active. And there are activities every day, if not in Lund, around Lund, in Malmo, for example. So I think that that's also like, we won't get depressed during winter because there are activities to do.
To keep you busy.
Yes.
You're going to be busy. You're going to be busy.
We should mention, though, Adriana, when you're talking about the discounts, we also should mention that you just recently got that information that there is a huge Lund alumni. And in there, there's so many things to opportunities. Mm-hmm. First, activities that they offer, and that they have a long history here in Lund. That think of the alumni out at the workplace. You know, they're working companies. They mentor. They like to meet the new students. They also have discounts there. You just learned about that too. When you become an alumni, you're a lifelong alumni. Discounts and access to activities, and also being able to give back, because many times we see that, especially at the hub, as you wanted to volunteer. Hey, I want to give back. You give me so much. I want to give back too. And we find that at the hub over the 10 years, people coming back. Can I volunteer for some of the events? Can I help? Can I create an event, that might be useful for people? So we see that give back as well. And I think that's what's really important to lift up, especially for Lund University, that you have an alumni, which isn't always so common in Sweden. It's not the same based as we have in the US. We're very oriented with our alumni, but it's becoming very big and very active here in Lund.
What have you been active with as volunteering? Do you do the events, networking opportunities?
I have been doing quite a lot of different things, mostly events also for other internationals to share like our culture. We also offer like language cafes. So for me, it has been like really getting more close to the Swedish culture, because I have also met Swedish people through these internships and volunteering experiences. And before that, my network was mostly with internationals. So now I am getting in slowly, but I am finally getting in. And I think that it's very valuable. I have learned that in Sweden, doing internships or volunteering is really good, because it's more valuable than maybe in other countries that it's like, oh, why are you volunteering? Why are you like putting so much of your time on this? But here it has been very nice.
I would say it's an investment of your time in like future opportunities, like of networking, absolutely. You meet people and you can do it. I mean, we were having a bit of a discussion before I've volunteered a bit throughout my studies because my studies were enabled me to do so. There was a bit less focus on time in the class and more focus outside. But in your case...
For me, it was a bit hard. My program was hectic, so I didn't have a lot of free time. But now that I am finding a job is also hard and it requires a lot of time, but it has been really nice to connect with other people. And even with my former colleagues in the Kickstart program, it has been really nice that now they sometimes are like, oh, hey, Adriana, I look this opportunity. Maybe you should take a look, or, oh, let's go together to a networking event. And I think that this is also really good because sometimes as an international, especially for me, I am a bit shy. Right now, not as much as before, because I need to push myself a little bit, but sometimes it's a bit like scary to go alone to a networking event. So now through the hub, I learned like, okay, I don't have to go alone. I can gather my people and go together because we are in the same boat. they understand the experience, and it's really nice to create a community with people that are supporting each other.
That community really, it keeps you going. It
Yes.
keeps you going a lot. But I wanted to also ask Lisa, you've 10 years have gone, and we hope a lot more. But what have you planned also? Is there anything that is coming up for our future students who are listening right now and are thinking of coming?
And thinking of
Soon.
coming. We have, as we've gone through the 10 years, we actually have a celebration the 9th of December, 2 kind of celebrations. And we, but in this period here, we are actually working in new development. The hub is actually, we call retention. How do we keep talent? And we actually have a political mandate now to work really closely with attracting people here. We see the value of the internationals, and also between their education, work experience, the desire to make an impact. These things are very attractive, and we want to bring that here to southern Sweden, specifically to Lund and southern Sweden. But so we're working on those kind of activities, developing more mentorship programs. We're working on series of educating companies, because it is a bit scary for a company, for example, to hire internationals. There's processes with the migration board. There are lots of things that are unknown to them. It's not so complicated. It's just a matter of getting that information. So we're working a little bit on those things. So it makes it a bit easier for non-EU citizens to come in. So we're working on those kinds of activities, working with authorities more. And actually, as I said, because of Lund University actually saying, now we want to fund the next 10 years with you and go and take that journey with you. We're working closer together. How can we make a bigger impact?
Yes.
So I think you're going to see a lot more at the University and International Citizen Hub and more activities there. I think we're going to see a lot more internationals in Lund. So all I have to say is, hey, our doors are open. So you're welcome to come through it and get a cup of coffee with us.
There's some exciting times ahead. And I think to wrap up, I wanted to ask, what is one advice that you would give to an international student or anyone who's not a student coming to Lund, to Sweden for the first time?
I would say go out and learn about the culture, meet people. Don't stay at home. Don't be shy. Just embrace the new place that you are in and take all the opportunities. Lund, as a city, and Lund University, they offer many things. So experience all of them.
I would say to get a personal number and your bank ID as soon as possible, because everything revolves around that.
What about you, Lisa?
Come with an open mind and see what you experience. And we hope you want to stay. But if you don't want to stay, we hope that you had a good experience here and that we're able to help you understand the culture, the climate, and what you can have. And as Kevin, I think it was a great example. You were here, but you came back, right?
Exactly.
So please, I hope people would like to come and experience it here.
And visit the International Citizens Hub for anything you need and to meet a vibrant international community. Thank you so much to all our listeners, and thank you to our guests today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Lund University International Podcast. If you're interested in learning more about Lund University, you can go to our website, lunduniversity.lu.se. You can also follow us on social media, on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and X. And you can connect with our amazing student ambassadors on Unibody. Don't forget to subscribe, and we look forward to bringing you a new episode very soon.